don't drive in the rain anymore, not if it's heavy. If it even looks like a storm is coming, I just stay home. My friends think I'm being a drama queen, but they weren't in the truck with me. They didn't see what I saw. Right there, through the glass. This was maybe 3 years ago. I was coming back from a late shift in Northern California, taking the back roads to avoid the highway. Then the rain just hit, out of nowhere, like a wall. Couldn't even see my hood. The road started flooding fast. I didn't want to stall the engine, so I pulled off onto this gravel patch, near an old barn. I figured I'd wait it out. 20 minutes, maybe less. I turned off my lights, just sat there. At first, it was fine. The rain was so loud it sounded like someone was dumping a bucket of rocks on my roof. I was just on my phone, not really paying attention. And then the truck rocked. I thought it was the wind, but then it happened again, this low, heavy tilt, like something was stepping onto the back. I froze, didn't move, just sat there in the dark, staring at the dashboard. And then, over the rain, I heard this clink, like a chain dragging across the bed. The truck rocked again, harder. I could hear the metal groaning. Whatever was back there was heavy. Felt like forever, probably 2 minutes. I just stared. Nothing, just rain. I couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed my phone and flicked on the light, swung it toward the back window. There was a guy standing in the bed of my truck, and man, his face, water pouring off him, eyes wide, not blinking. Even with the rain hitting his eyes, he didn't flinch. Smiling, too wide, stuck there, his eyes. They didn't move at all. They weren't right. He didn't look real, just wrong. He leaned in and started tapping on the glass with this silver thing. Clink, 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 a spark plug. I knew if he hit the glass once with that, it would just shatter. I didn't think. I floored it. Tires spun in the mud, then they caught. I felt the whole truck lurch as he was thrown off. I didn't care if the car died. I didn't stop until I saw lights. A gas station. I stayed under the pumps, just shaking. I checked the back, and he was gone. But then I saw my tailgate, chain wrapped around the back. The other end was dragging on the ground, all shredded from the road. At the end was a giant grate, rusted, heavy. He hadn't been trying to get in. He'd spent those minutes in the dark, silently chaining me to a massive iron grate. If I'd waited just one more minute to drive away, I would have been anchored to that spot, in the middle of a flood. Barn was empty the next day, but up in the rafters, one thing, a Polaroid, my truck, from the woods behind my house. 2 days before the storm. I don't drive in the rain anymore. I'm sending this in because I honestly can't stop thinking about that guy. It's been months, but every time it starts raining hard against the roof of my apartment, I have to get up and physically check the back window. I know it's locked, but my brain won't let it go. It's like I'm waiting for the sound to change. This happened last October. I was out in the Pacific Northwest, way deep in the woods. I'd just gone through a really bad breakup, and I honestly just wanted to be alone. For a few days, no cell service, no people, nothing. I found this old forum post about some unofficial sites miles down an unmapped Forest Service road. The drive was a total disaster. The road was barely there anymore, just mud and heavy brush scraping the sides of my truck. My GPS eventually just gave up and showed me driving through a blank green void on the screen. I actually had to stop twice just to drag fallen hemlock branches out of my path. By the time I finally found a spot to park, this massive autumn storm had rolled in. I spent the whole afternoon setting up my tent in the pouring rain, trying to dig a trench so the floor wouldn't flood. By 10 p.m., I was shivering, totally drained, and I just crawled into my bag and passed out. The rain hitting the nylon was so loud it was almost vibrating. It just drowned everything out. I woke up around 3 o'clock a.m. I'm a heavy sleeper, so waking up for no reason was the first thing that felt wrong. I just lay there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, trying to figure out what pulled me out of it. Then I noticed the sound. Right above my face, there was this patch on the tent where no rain was hitting the fabric. It was just silent. Everywhere else, the rain was pounding, but that one spot was dead quiet. I remember trying to tell myself it was just a branch that had fallen over the tent, but I didn't hear anything fall. And then I heard the breathing. It was slow, deep, and it sounded wet, like someone with a bad chest cold was standing 2 inches from the mesh, just watching me. Someone was standing directly over me, blocking the rain. I didn't think. I just gripped my mag light and unzipped the flap in one motion. The beam hit a guy standing barely 5 feet away. He was wearing this heavy, dark yellow raincoat with the hood pulled up tight. His eyes were wide and just glassy. He didn't blink or even flinch at the light. He just stood there staring, like he was waiting for me to do something. Neither of us said a word. Then he slowly raised his arm. His movement was weird, stiff, and jerky, like his shoulder was locking up on him. He pointed a single finger at the mud right outside my tent. There was a little stack of 4 stones there, perfectly balanced on top of each other. Tucked under the top one was a folded napkin. I could see the ink already bleeding through the paper from the rain. I didn't grab the note. I didn't ask questions. I just bolted for my truck and locked the doors. As I threw it in reverse, my headlights swept across the tree line. There were bare footprints everywhere in the mud, not boots, just bare feet circling my tent. I drove 3 hours straight back to the city. I didn't even stop for gas. When I finally got home, I locked the deadbolt and just sat on my kitchen floor, trying to get my heart rate down. I finally felt safe. I went to get a glass of water, and that's when I saw the counter. Sitting right there, dead center, was a stack of 4 stones, exactly like the ones in the woods. I felt like I was going to throw up. I looked down and saw muddy, bare footprints leading from my back window, which was cracked open straight toward my bedroom door. I didn't open that door. I ran back to my truck and called 911. When the cops showed up, the place was empty. But they found one thing in my bedroom, a soaking wet yellow raincoat, laid out perfectly flat across my pillows. Whoever he was, he hadn't beaten me home. He'd been in the bed of my truck under the hard cover for the entire 3-hour drive. I don't go camping anymore,